Good evening, sir. I am Aman Dharod from the Media and Public Relations Committee, IIM Raipur. We are honored to have Mr. Shivendra Pratap Singh with us today. We are very happy to welcome you to IIM Raipur's 10th HR Summit. Sir, you've had a unique journey from entrepreneurship to leading people operations at Ergode. Looking back, what is the one lesson about leadership and people that has remained constant throughout your career?
Uh, First of all, thanks for having me, dear. I really appreciate it. And coming back to your question, uh, the leadership journey that I have traveled has taught me multiple lessons. But one important thing that I suggest almost everybody while they are working to get up the ladder is going to be your consistency. Now, when it comes to the ideas, the intelligence, the smartness, there are people who are smarter than anybody. There are people who are more intelligent than you. There are people who are possibly very good at what they do. But one thing that's is very rare, and that's where the success lies, is other than the fluke successes, which I don't consider to be a great success or a long-term success, is consistency. So no matter what happens, you got to do it if you got to do it. And uh, you know when I started my career, or early days of human resources field or the other fields as well that I've worked with, uh, I mean, we all as young generation get this feeling at times that, hey, you know what, it's possibly enough. I should switch somewhere else. I should try something else and all that. But discipline is and consistency is exactly where it does not matter what you think, you just got to do it. So the attitude that needs a shift from I have to do it to I get to do it every day. That's what I would recommend for anybody who's planning and is currently striving to travel this path.
Understood. So basically putting the work in day in and day out, regardless
Yeah,
of what happens.
absolutely.
Got it. Should people leaders today be measured differently than they were a decade ago?
Very much, very much. I mean, because the fundamental challenges, problems have changed to be solved at the corporates or companies. The measurement of the performance also changes for leadership. So now, I mean, when there was no computer, people used to be measured on basis of how well they do it manually. When there are computers, that part is now taken care by computer, but still the entire set is owned by human. And similarly, AI is now into the picture, which is going to be another latest technology that leaders are going to use. So the because the problems have changed, the ways to measure the performance and effectiveness of leadership is also going to change drastically. So right now, more than how many engagement activities do you do, or more than how many times you talk to your employees, what's going to be measured is majorly that's going to be owned by the leadership in human resources specifically, is about what is your attrition rate, is up or down. If it is up, definitely what are the ways that you're going to solve it. And the measurability and denominator definitely remains the same, but the ways to measure it has definitely changed.
Got
Sure.
it. And you talked about AI. So as organizations adopt AI first ways of working, the technology is often the easier part, but the real challenge is making people embrace the change. So in your experience, what makes people genuinely adopt a new way of working instead of simply complying with the old ways?
Very good question. That's actually a real challenge that corporates are facing. Almost everybody in the corporate sectors are facing, is adoption. And adoption, I would say, adoption is responsibility not only of just the CEO. Adoption is technology adoption or change adoption is going to be responsibility of human resources vertical majorly. And how people adopt, I mean, if I am the one who's coaching you and every day I come and tell you that you got to do this, there's a new thing that you got to do this, you will possibly have reluctancy. Okay, let me try it today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and all that. But the moment I do it and show it, and then that's where you get interested in it. That, wow, boom, this was something interesting. So the way the adoption is going to get increased is only when you do it and lead by example and show it to them, so that they have a path that you have now crafted for them to walk on. That's
That makes
what I would say.
sense. Okay, so you've been closely involved in organizational transformation. In your experience, why do some transformation initiatives succeed while others lose momentum, and even when the strategy is sound in itself?
Yeah. So strategy is definitely just a part of the entire planning or project that anybody takes over. So what matters most is execution. What, for example, let's say if we take any project that the colleges give to a student. Now, until and unless there is thoroughly two things that are important. One is the visible commitment, means visible accountability. You maybe on a dashboard your name is appearing that this project is something that you are lagging, while you are at 40%, others are at 80%, hypothetically speaking, right? So that's one. And another thing is execution. We what is challenging more than just the project itself or strategy itself. Strategy is what to do, but then to do is the main part of what to do. So doing is more important and going to be more important, given that the knowledge is going to be abundance with the AI, and it's execution that's going to matter throughout. That's what I did.
Got it. And you spent over a decade growing within the same organization, from HR executive to chief people officer, which is not quite common in today's generation. So, what did it teach you?
So one thing, to me, success can never or should never be measured by how often somebody changes a company or how long they stay in a company. What matters is, number one, is how are you making an impact in an organization, and how are you growing along the organization. If both these things are on the checklist just ticked for you, no matter how small the company is or how big the company is, if you are making an impact and that's actually helping the business grow, then that's where you feel the sense of achievement. That yes, I have been contributing in some form or fashion wherein this business is growing and I am also growing, and along with me, all these employees that are part of the company and their families who are dependent on them are also growing, and that's where it matters more than the tenure in any organization, is what I feel.
Got it. And lastly, based on your experiences, what advice would you offer to IIM Raipur students who are about to enter the corporate world and aspire to become business owners?
Oh man, I was talking to one of your batchmates today. We were just walking, and they were in fact two. So one thing that I would say, at least once in life, experience entrepreneurship. At least once in life, that teaches you everything. Hypothetically, not. In fact, I can give you an example that so far the organizational structure are going, have been like CEO is on the top, CEO, MD, founder, whoever it is, and then there are CXOs, and then there are mid-level managers, and then executive associates. So in this entire framework or org tree, there is only one generalist, that is CEO. CEO has to know the sales, CEO has to know the HR, finance, marketing, technology, everything, because he is responsible for the success from all the perspectives of the company. Now, with the latest technology that's there today, it is AI, tomorrow there could be any other technology. It's going to be very, very important for specifically from IIM Raipur. I am thinking that in next 5 to 10 years, and that's what I mentioned in today's event as well, that I would love to see some and many of you possibly creating next LLM or next AI platform which is indigenous for India, and then you creating employment out of it is what I feel. And that's where because India has the biggest population of the young generation, more than 65% of the people are below 35 age, and that's where I feel India has the opportunity that no other countries are there having. And you talk about US, the average age is almost, the median age is 39. You talk about Japan, you talk about China, 40, around 42. You talk about Japan, almost 49, 50 is the median age. So India is definitely in a place where it has a lot more potential and a lot more opportunity that it can carry. And institutes like IIM Raipur are generating people and future leaders like yourselves. I am very confident that future is bright, and we would see in upcoming decades a lot more global applications getting launched from India, and many Indians within from India.
That's
what
the
I feel.
goal, sir.
Yep.
Well,
Absolutely.
right. Thank you for joining us at IIM Raipur today.
Thank you.
Your insights and experiences have been really helpful and invaluable. We are truly honored to have had the opportunity to learn from you, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me
Thank you
again.
so
Thank
much.
you very much.